Thank you, Flo. First, I wanted to say, if you have never gone on a trip, or if you're not a part of a church, I would highly suggest that you come and become a part of any church here in Hong Kong, but I specifically like Island ECC. I'm married to the pastor, and so I can't say that tonight, but it's an amazing privilege to get to travel, to get to see your friends, to see these amazing people in difficult situations. You bond quickly. And I have to say, all night long, all we said to each other is, wow, look at you in that dress, you have makeup on. Because we were sweaty, hot, and just horrible looking the whole week. But it was a real privilege to get to know my team and to get to be a part of this experience with them. This was my 7th mission trip of my life. It was the 6th country that I visited that is, we consider that half of the population is at the poverty line in comparison to Hong Kong states, or that they live below the poverty line. And I have to say, it was day 4 that we were loading up the van to go to the rubbish dump. And on day 4 of our trip, I was in charge of leading the devotional that night. But on day 4, sorry Tim, but I really didn't like Cambodia very much. I really missed my husband and my children, and I was overwhelmed with the crime, with the chaos, with the child prostitution that we saw in the streets of Phnom Penh. It was my very first time to be in a country and see the effects of genocide, and we were able to visit the killing fields, and I was just overwhelmed, and I was not a huge fan of Cambodia. So that morning I thought, this is not a good place to be when I have to do the devotional tonight, and all my sweet team members are saying, oh, it's so wonderful, and I love it, and all these wonderful things, and I wasn't feeling that at all. So I prayed, God, please capture my heart. Please change my heart. I really need you to work in my heart because I have to lead this devotional tonight. So please change it. So we loaded up the van, and I wasn't very optimistic about that prayer because we were going here. You can go to the next slide, Russ. We were going to this place, and I'm a nurse by profession, and this just looked like a medical nightmare to me. And I love children, but I'm particularly drawn to orphanages and to orphans. And these children that we were going to visit had families at least. And so I just wasn't really thinking that this would be a place that I would be drawn to. So we walk out of the van, and when you open the door of the van and you're at the rubbish dump, your first hit, like pictures do not do it justice, because the thing that you're first hit with is just, I'm sorry you're eating, but you're hit with this sour, smoky, gut-wrenching smell. And you kind of take a inside breath and just hope that you don't start getting sick. I'll be polite with my words. But so we step out, and then we open the gates to the school. And on the school, we walk in, and the school was actually very clean, very nice. And we walk in, and the children were darling. And on the wall of the school was Psalm 113. Now, Psalm 113, there are 150 Psalms in the Bible. But Psalm 113 has been part of my life for 18 years. Because Psalm 113:9 says, He settles the barren woman in her home as the happy mother of children. And I stand before you today, a barren woman, but I'm also the mother of 4 adopted children. And so it was that verse that carried me through the last 18 years of my life. So I know that psalm very well. And it was as if God said, Shannon, here's the writing on the wall. I'm going to capture your heart today, so get ready. And you are the happy mother of children, and I agree that yes, I am the happy mother of children. So let's start working on verse 7 and 8 of that song. And verse 7 and 8 is right there, and it says, He raises the poor from the ash heap. And the needy. He raises the poor from the dust, and He lifts the needy from the ash heap. And He seats them with the princes of their people. And it was God saying to me, I care about these people, and I know that you're overwhelmed, because it is overwhelming when you see the world and you see poverty, and you know how many countries need our help. But He wants us to care and to start somewhere. And for me, it was to start here in Cambodia. And so these little faces, we can go to the next one, pretty much started stealing my heart the rest of the day. We spent the morning up on the trash dump, and there was something amazing watching the people there. The work ethic, you know, to work 12 hours a day picking through rubbish. It was humbling to watch. Living in Hong Kong, we all value work ethic, and I just have a respect for these people. And I think their children, most of the people who work on the trash dump do not have an education. They cannot read or write. So the school motivates me because the children know what it means to work hard. So if we give them an education, they can one day be lifted out of the ash heap because of their work ethic and the education that the school is trying to give them. And we can go, you know, there's just something about that picture. This 8-year-old little girl doesn't belong in the trash dump. She belongs in school, laughing and giggling. But she's the most serious, intense, assertive little girl you could ever meet. We tried to give her new shoes, but she has on these purple boots, and she didn't want our shoes. No, thank you. I've got my great purple boots that I scavengered for. So my heart is to somehow to get this child to be a child of God. The next slide. These are two darlings that do go to the school. And let me just read real quick. Saray Ness, this little girl, she's 6 years old. She's one of 7 children, and her parents were divorced a year ago. So her aunt, because her mother didn't have the money or the means to feed her, her aunt took her and to live with her at the trash dump because her aunt has a job, and she was happy that her aunt took her to work there. And this is what she says about going to the school. It says, I love all the teachers at the center because they are kind and they take good care of me. I miss my parents, but coming to the center, to the school, I feel warm. I can enjoy eating good food, which I never have at home. And I love to learn to read and write. I heard about Jesus by joining the Bible class on Saturday. And I love to pray to Jesus because I believe that He hears my prayer. And so that is what I have in common with this little girl, because that day my heart was captured. And I hope tonight, as you hear the stories of the children of Cambodia, that your hearts will be captured as well. Thank you.